So in our Hawaiian volcano summary this week, Kīlauea still has a few earthquakes, but not as many as last week or as a month before when a big intrusion moved down the southwest rift zone, all through here. This is the last week of earthquakes colored by depth. And you see there's a cluster of earthquakes in the South Caldera area, a few under Halemaʻumaʻu and the main caldera, and a scattering of them down the southwest rift trace in here. We saw a lot more last week, so they're still happening at a low rate there, but slowing down even further. It appears that magma is collecting more so in this South Caldera area, right through here. And we'll see that through some of the instrumentation as well. Our earthquake rates are still low overall. We're looking at about 20 earthquakes per day across all of Kīlauea, not just that summit area. And this is down from the tailing off that we saw at about a month ago in early February here. The peak of these earthquakes for the southwest intrusion was in late January, so that was quite a bit higher. And so we're really seeing a tailing off here, and it's come down to low levels, and it seems like it's even lower here recently. Looking at our ground tilt meters, this one is at the summit, measuring Halemaʻumaʻu area, and it's for the last month as well. And what you see is an overall pattern of inflation, gentle inflation here, but with these cycles of deflation inflation occurring fairly persistently across much of that time. So over the last week, there's been little net gain, but part of this overall gentle inflation. Looking at the signal that measures the South Caldera area, it's the green of the Sand Hill station here. Let's zoom it in, and you can see that it has also been inflating, and perhaps a little more uniformly compared to the Halemaʻumaʻu signal in blue here. So it's leveled off recently, but inflating quite a bit. And if we look further to the southwest at the flank of the volcano that we saw had notably increased its movement last week, that seems to have stabilized now. So just following through on last week's update there. It seems like things are settling and focusing back at the summit. And we can look at our INSAR image from the Mounts project. And it's showing inflation centered around the South Caldera area as before. On Mauna Loa, earthquake rates are still quite low, especially in the context of the last 5 years. This was the eruption buildup, and this was the deep earthquakes we saw in the middle of last year. So quite low compared to all of that. But if we look at the last 5 years data, we can see in this depth and time plot how those deep earthquakes under Mauna Loa are the most interesting thing that's happened since that eruption occurred in late 2022. So magma is still building within the volcano, swelling very slowly at the surface, and pretty quiet on Mauna Loa as well. And that's our volcano summary for this week.